far away in deep space, where no planet could be seen and no star gave strong light, a small human ship was moving slowly. It was alone. Around it, there was only darkness. The ship's name was Horizon Star. Inside the ship, everything was quiet. No loud voices. No panic. No fear. Only soft machine sounds filled the air. Captain Elias Morgan stood near the main window. He was tall, calm, and serious. His eyes were fixed on the endless black space in front of him. He had seen many battles before, but this time was different. Very different. Behind him, his crew worked silently. Lieutenant Sarah Cole checked the radar. Engineer Mark Lewis watched the engine screen. Navigator Ryan Patel studied the star map. Everyone knew something was wrong. Very wrong. Suddenly, Sarah's voice broke the silence. "Captain, something is appearing on radar." Elias turned slowly. "How many?" he asked. Sarah's fingers moved fast on the screen. "Not one, not two." "Captain, it's a fleet." Mark looked up. "A fleet? How big?" Sarah swallowed. "More than 50 ships." The room became cold. No one spoke. 50 alien warships. That was not a normal patrol. That was an attack force. Ryan whispered, "They found us." Elias stayed calm. "Show it on the main screen." The large screen in front of them came alive. Red dots filled the space around the Horizon Star. They were coming from every direction, surrounding them, closing in, slowly, like hunters. Mark clenched his fists. "We can't fight that many." Sarah nodded. "Our weapons are too small." Ryan added, "And our shields are weak." The Horizon Star was not a warship. It was a research and travel ship. It was never made for big battles. Elias knew this. He also knew something else. Running was impossible. Their engines were not fast enough. Escape was not an option. The alien fleet moved closer. Each ship was huge. Sharp shapes. Dark metal. Glowing blue lines. They looked like monsters in space. On the alien command ship, Commander Vrax watched the human vessel. His yellow eyes were full of pride. "So, this is the famous human ship?" he said. His officer stood behind him. One laughed softly. "It looks weak, Commander." Another said, "They will surrender soon." Vrax smiled. "All humans surrender," he said. "Send them a message." A signal was sent. Inside the Horizon Star, a warning light flashed. "Incoming transmission," Sarah said. Elias nodded. "Put on." The screen changed. An alien face appeared. Long head, cold eyes, sharp teeth. "This is Commander Vrax of the Zarnax fleet." The alien said, "You are surrounded. You have no escape. Surrender now, or be destroyed." The message ended. Silence returned. Mark looked at Elias. "What do we do, sir?" Sarah's hands were shaking. Ryan held his breath. Everyone waited. Elias did not answer at once. He looked at the screen, then at his crew, then back at space. His face showed no fear, only thought. After a few seconds, he spoke. "Do not reply." Everyone stared at him. "Sir," Sarah asked. "No reply." Mark repeated. "Yes." Elias said, "Stay silent." Ryan frowned. "But they will attack." Elias nodded. "Let them wait." The crew followed orders. No signal was sent. No message. No sound. The Horizon Star stayed silent. On the alien ship, Vrax became angry. "They are ignoring us," he said. One officer said, "Maybe they are scared." Another said, "Maybe they are preparing." Vrax laughed. "Preparing? With that tiny ship?" "Impossible." "Start countdown," he ordered. A loud voice filled the alien ship. "Attack in 10, 9, 8. The countdown echoed. Inside Horizon Star, the crew heard nothing, but they knew. They felt it. Time was running out. Mark wiped sweat from his forehead. "Captain, we can't just wait." Elias turned to him. "We are not waiting," he said quietly. "We are watching." Sarah looked confused. "Watching what?" Elias walked to a hidden control panel. He placed his hand on it. The panel opened. A secret screen appeared. Blue symbols. Unknown codes. Old technology. Human technology. Lost technology. Technology banned by many councils. Ryan's eyes widened. Sir, is that? Yes, Elias said. The black core system. Mark froze. That system is forbidden. It's too dangerous. Elias nodded. I know. But today it is needed. The ship started to hum softly. Very softly. Almost like breathing. Sarah's radar showed strange waves. Captain, energy levels are rising. Good, Elias said. On the alien ship, officers notice it too. Commander, the human ship is changing, one said. Vrax looked at the screen. He saw small lights appear on the human vessel. What is that? He asked. Probably last defense, an officer said. Vrax smiled. Useless. Continue countdown. 3, 2. Inside Horizon Star, Elias raised his hand. Everyone, he said, stay calm. Trust me. 1. Mark closed his eyes. Sarah held her breath. Ryan whispered a prayer. 0. Nothing happened. No explosion. No lasers. No attack. The aliens waited. Vrax frowned. Why didn't they fire? He asked. Before anyone could answer, a strange sound filled space. Not loud. Not soft. Deep, like space itself was moving. The stars around Horizon Star began to bend. Light twisted. Darkness folded. The human ship started glowing. White, blue, silver, like a living star. Inside, alarms beeped. System online. A voice said, Black core active. Elias smiled slightly. Now, he whispered. The alien ship shook. Their screens went wild. Commander, our sensors are failing. Our weapons are offline. Shields dropping. Vrax stood up. What did they do? On his screen, Horizon Star was no longer small. It looked huge, powerful, dangerous, like a god in space. Elias spoke calmly. Send message. Sarah nodded quickly. She sent a short signal. To the alien fleet. Only 3 words. We warned you. Vrax read it. His heart froze. For the first time, he felt fear. Real fear. And far away, in silent space, the unexpected turning point had begun. Space had changed. Just moments ago, it was silent and calm. Now it was shaking. Light was bending. Darkness was twisting. And in the center of it all stood the human ship, Horizon Star, glowing like a living storm. Inside the alien command ship, Commander Vrax could not believe his eyes. This is impossible, he whispered. His hands were shaking. His officers were shouting, Commander, our weapons are offline. Our shields are failing. We can't lock target. Our systems are crashing. Screens blinked. Red warnings flashed everywhere. The mighty Zarnax fleet, which had destroyed dozens of civilizations, was suddenly helpless. All because of one small human ship. Vrax slammed his fist on the control table. Fix it, he roared. I don't care how. Restore power. An officer replied in fear. Sir, we are trying, but something is blocking our systems. It's like an invisible wall. Vrax looked back at the screen. Horizon Star was still glowing, still silent, still calm, like it was watching them, like a hunter watching trap prey. Inside Horizon Star, the situation was also tense. Alarms were ringing, lights were flashing, energy levels were rising fast. Sarah held her headset tightly. Captain, black core power is at 70%. Mark stared at the engine screen. The core is stable, but barely. If it goes above 90, the ship may break. Ryan looked nervous. Our navigation is locked. We can't move. Elias stood in the center. His face was serious, but his eyes were clear, focused. Hold at 75, he ordered. Do not go higher. Sarah nodded. Trying, sir. The black core system was not normal technology. It was built long ago, before the space councils, before the peace treaties, before the rules. It was made in secret, a last weapon, a weapon to protect humanity if everything failed. Most humans believed it was only a myth, but Elias knew the truth. He had seen it once before, and he had seen what it could do. On the alien ship, panic was spreading. One officer cried. "Commander, our fleet formation is breaking." Another shouted, "We are drifting." Several ships began to move without control. Some crashed into each other. Others spun wildly. Small explosions appeared in space. Vrax watched in horror. His proud fleet was falling apart, not because of enemy fire, but because of fear and confusion. "Send emergency order." Vrax shouted. "All ships, regroup. Focus fire on the human ship." The message went out, but few ships replied. Many systems were dead. Communication lines were broken. Only static returned. Vrax's confidence was gone. He remembered his words. All humans surrender. Now he felt foolish, arrogant, blind. Inside Horizon Star, Elias watched the alien fleet on the screen. "They are losing control," Ryan said. "Yes," Elias replied. "They are afraid." Mark looked worried. "But sir, if we continue, we may destroy them." Elias stayed silent for a moment. Then he said softly, "That is not our goal." Everyone looked at him. Sarah asked, "Then what is?" "To survive," Elias answered, "and to send message. A message that humans are not weak." Suddenly, a loud alarm sounded. "Warning," the system voice said. "Unknown signal detected." Sarah's eyes widened. "Captain, one alien ship is charging weapons." Elias turned quickly. On the screen, one large alien battleship was glowing red. It was gathering energy. "They are trying a last attack." Mark said, "Can they fire?" Ryan asked. "Maybe once," Sarah replied. "But if they do—" She didn't finish. Everyone knew one shot from that ship could destroy Horizon Star. Elias moved fast. "Redirect power to front shields," he ordered. "Boost them to maximum." Mark typed rapidly. "Done. Shields at full power." The alien ship fired. A massive red beam cut through space. It was bright, hot, deadly. It hit Horizon Star directly. The ship shook violently. Crew members fell. Screens flickered. Smoke filled the air. Sarah screamed, "Shields dropping, 40%. Mark shouted, "Hull damage on deck 3. Ryan held his chair. "We can't take another hit." Elias grabbed the control rail. "Stabilize," he ordered. "Hold position." The ship slowly stopped shaking. The beam faded. They were alive. Barely. Outside, the attacking alien ship exploded. Its own system had failed. It broke apart into fire and metal. Vrax saw it. His strongest ship was gone, destroyed by its own power. He felt empty, lost, defeated. Vrax slowly sat down. His voice was weak. "What are humans?" he asked quietly. No one answered, because no one knew. They had believed humans were small, slow, weak. Now they knew the truth. Humans were patient, silent, dangerous. Inside Horizon Star, the crew was exhausted. Sweat covered their faces. Hands were shaking. Breathing was heavy. But they were alive. Sarah looked at Elias. "Captain, should we finish them?" Mark nodded slowly. "They can't fight back." Ryan said, "This is our chance." Elias closed his eyes for a second. Then he opened them. "No," he said. Everyone froze. "No," Mark repeated. "We won't destroy them." Elias said, "We will show them mercy." Sarah looked surprised. "But sir, they attacked us." "Yes," Elias replied. "And now they know the cost." He walked to the communication panel. "Open channel." Sarah obeyed. The screen changed. Commander Vrax appeared. He looked tired, broken, different from before. "This is Captain Elias Morgan of the human ship Horizon Star." Elias said, "Your fleet is defeated. We do not want more blood. Withdraw. Leave the system. Never return." Vrax stared at him for a long time. Then he slowly bowed his head. "We accept," Vrax said. "You are stronger than we thought." The signal ended. Slowly, the alien fleet began to retreat. Damaged ships moved away. Broken ships drifted into darkness. The hunters were leaving. As victims, space became quiet again. No explosions. No alarms. Only distant stars. Inside Horizon Star, silence returned. Mark laughed softly. We did it. Sarah smiled with tired eyes. We survived. Ryan leaned back. I can't believe it. Elias looked at the stars. His face was calm, but inside he felt heavy. The black core was still active, still dangerous, still hungry for power. Begin shutdown, he ordered. Sarah nodded. Shutting down black core. The glow around the ship faded. Energy levels dropped. Systems returned to normal. The storm was over. For now, far away, in the retreating alien ship, Rack stood alone. He watched Horizon Star disappear from his screen. His voice was low. We were wrong, he said. We underestimated humans. And we paid the price. He knew this story would spread. Across galaxies. Across worlds. A story of a small human ship that stood alone and broke an empire. And in the silent space, Horizon Star moved forward again. Damaged, tired, but undefeated. The war was not over, but humanity had made its mark. And the universe would never forget it. Space was quiet again. Too quiet. After the alien fleet retreated, only broken metal and fading light remained. The human ship Horizon Star moved slowly forward. Its engines were weak. Its shields were low. Its crew was tired. But they were alive. Inside the control room, no one spoke. Not because they were afraid, but because they were thinking. Thinking about what just happened. Thinking about what could still happen. Captain Elias Morgan stood near the window. He looked at the stars. They were beautiful, cold, endless. He knew the battle was over. But something inside him said this was not the end. Sarah finally broke the silence. Captain, long-range scanners are clear. No enemy ships detected. Mark added, engines are stable, but barely. Fuel is low. Ryan checked his screen. Our nearest human base is 3 days away. With this damage, maybe 5. Elias nodded. Set course, he said. We go home. The ship turned slowly. It began its long journey back. Behind them, the battlefield disappeared into darkness. Like nothing had happened. Like thousands of lives had not been changed. Hours passed. The crew rested in turns. Some slept. Some repaired systems. Some simply sat quietly, thinking. Elias stayed awake. He always did after battles. In his private cabin, he stared at an old photo. It showed him as a young officer, smiling, with friends. Many of them were gone now. War had taken them. He closed his eyes. Was this worth it? He whispered. No one answered. Suddenly, a soft beep echoed. In the control room, Sarah looked up. Captain, I'm getting something strange. Elias walked in quickly. What is it? She zoomed the screen. A signal, but not alien, and not human. Mark frowned. Then what? Sarah replied slowly. I don't know. It's ancient. The signal was weak, broken, hidden, like someone was trying not to be found. Ryan leaned closer. It's coming from that direction. He pointed to empty space. There's nothing there. Elias stared, scanned deeper. Sarah increased power. The screen changed. A shadow appeared. A massive shape, hidden inside a dust cloud. A station? Mark asked. No, Ryan whispered. That's the fortress. It was huge, larger than any ship, older than any known structure, covered in dark metal, floating silently, like a sleeping monster. Elias felt a chill. Who built that? He asked. No records, Sarah replied. No history, no data. It shouldn't exist. Before anyone could speak, the signal changed. It became clear, strong, focused. A message appeared. Only one line. Human vessel detected. Do not approach. Mark swallowed. That doesn't sound friendly. Elias thought for a moment, then said, Open channel. Sarah hesitated. Sir, what if? Do it, Elias replied calmly. The screen changed. Static filled it. Then a figure appeared. Not alien, not human, something else. Tall, thin, skin like dark glass, eyes like silver light. Its voice was soft, but powerful. You should not be here, it said. Elias stood straight. I am Captain Elias Morgan. We are damaged. We mean no harm. The being stared. Your kind used forbidden power, it said. You awakened us. The crew froze. Awaken you? Ryan whispered. Elias asked carefully, Who are you? The being replied, We are the Watchers. We guard what must never be used. Mark's heart raced. Use what? The Watcher's eyes glowed. The black core. Silence filled the room. Sarah slowly turned to Elias. Captain, they know. The Watcher continued. That power was sealed long ago. Because it destroys balance. Because it attracts something worse. Elias felt cold. What's something worse? The Watcher leaned closer. Something that follows energy. Something that eats worlds. Something that notices every use. Ryan whispered, A monster? The Watcher replied, More than that. It is coming. Outside, space trembled. Just for a second. Like a warning. Mark shouted, Captain, energy spike detected. Sarah added, From far away. Very far. But moving fast. Elias looked at the screen. A distant glow appeared. Small, but growing. Is that? He asked. Yes, the Watcher said. Your signal called it. Panic spread. We should run. Mark said. Full power. Ryan added. But Sarah shook her head. Engines can't handle that. We won't escape. Elias closed his eyes, then opened them. Why didn't you stop us before? He asked the Watcher. We were asleep, it replied. You woke us too late. Now we can only guide. The glow in space grew brighter, like a rising sun, but dark, wrong, unnatural. A feeling of fear filled every heart. Even the Watcher looked uneasy. It is called a devourer, it said. It consumes stars. It consumes life. And it never stops. Sarah whispered, Can we fight it? The Watcher shook its head. No weapon can. Only sacrifice. Elias felt weight on his chest. Sacrifice who? The Watcher looked at Horizon Star. At the source. At the black core. If it overloads, it will create a shield. For a moment. Long enough to send the devourer away. Mark shouted, Overload. That will destroy us. Yes, the Watcher replied. The crew stared at Elias. No one spoke, but everyone understood this was a death sentence. Elias walked slowly to the center. He looked at his crew, at Sarah, at Mark, at Ryan, at every tired face. You heard it, he said softly. We don't have much time. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. There must be another way. Mark shook his head. There always is. Ryan whispered, right? Elias smiled sadly. Not this time. He placed his hand on the black core panel. I will stay, he said. You will leave. No. Sarah shouted. We won't. Elias turned. Order, he said firmly. Silence. They knew his tone. It was final. The distant glow grew bigger, closer, faster. The devourer was coming. Elias looked one last time at the stars. At life, at hope, at home. Humans are not weak, he whispered, and we never will be. And in the cold darkness of space, a new sacrifice was about to begin. Time was running out. Far away in space, the dark glow was growing. The devourer was coming. It moved like a living storm. No wings, no shape, only endless hunger. It swallowed light. It bent space. It erased stars. And now, it was coming for Horizon Star. Inside the ship, silence had returned. But this silence was heavy, painful, like the calm before the end. Captain Elias Morgan stood near the black core control panel. Blue light reflected on his face. It made him look older, more tired, but also stronger. Behind him, Sarah, Mark, and Ryan stood together. None of them wanted to speak, because words were too weak now. Sarah finally whispered, Captain, let me stay with you. Elias turned slowly. No, he said softly. You will lead them home. Mark stepped forward. If anyone stays, it should be me. I built half the system. Ryan added, we all share this risk. Elias shook his head. This is not bravery, he said. This is duty. My duty? He walked toward them, placed a hand on each shoulder. Humanity needs witnesses, he said, not ghosts. Tears rolled down Sarah's face. You promised we would go home, she said. Elias smiled sadly. I am keeping that promise. For you. Alarms suddenly screamed. Warning, the system voice said. Unknown entity approaching. Distance, decreasing rapidly. On the screen, the devourer was visible now, a massive moving darkness. Like space itself was breaking. Small stars disappeared inside it. Like candles blown out, Ryan whispered, It's eating everything. The watcher appeared on the screen again. You have minutes. It said, No more. Elias nodded. Prepare evacuation. Emergency pods were launched, one by one. Small ships, fragile, filled with people, hope, memories. Sarah was the last to enter. She stopped at the door. Look back. Thank you for everything. Elias saluted. Make it count. The door closed. Her pod flew away. Into darkness. Now Elias was alone. Only machines. Only humming power. Only fate. He activated the final sequence. Black core overload in progress, the system said. Time remaining for minutes. Energy levels rose. Walls vibrated. Lights flickered. The ship groaned like it was alive. In pain, Elias sat in the captain's chair. He connected his neural link. His mind merged with the ship. He felt everything. Heat, power, fear, but also peace. He remembered his childhood, his first flight, his first command, his first loss. Every moment passed through him, like a movie, fast, bright, then quiet. Outside, the devourer was close, very close. Its darkness reached toward horizon star, like fingers, hungry fingers. The watcher spoke again. Captain Morgan, your name will be remembered. Elias replied, Names don't matter. Choices do. Time remaining, 2 minutes. The ship shook harder. Cracks appeared. Fire sparked. Smoke filled the air. Elias coughed, but did not move. He sent one final message. To humanity. To history. To hope. This is Captain Elias Morgan. If you hear this, remember, we are strong. We protect each other. Never fear the dark. Become the light. Message sent. Time remaining, 60 seconds. The devourer roared, not with sound, but with gravity. Space bent violently. Horizon star was pulled toward it. Elias held the controls. Fighting. Struggling. Refusing. 30 seconds. The black core burned white. It was no longer blue. It was a star. Inside a ship. Inside a man's will. Elias closed his eyes. He smiled. I'm ready, he whispered. 10, 9, 8. The watcher watched silently. For the first time, it felt respect. 5, 4, 3. The devourer reached out, almost touching. 2, 1. The black core exploded, but not like a bomb, not with fire, not with sound. It became light, pure, endless, perfect. A massive shield spread outward, a wave of energy. It hit the devourer, wrapped around it, pushed it back, far, far away, into nothing. Space became white, then black, then calm. Horizon star was gone. No metal, no dust, no memory, only silence. Days later, Sarah's pod reached human space. Damaged, slow, but alive. She held Elias's message. Over and over and over. At a space station, leaders listened. Soldiers cried. Civilians prayed. Children learned his name. Elias Morgan, the man who faced darkness and did not run. The watchers returned to sleep. The black core was gone, sealed forever. The devourer was lost. For now, and in the deep universe, a story was born, a story of sacrifice, of courage, of humanity. Because heroes do not live forever, but their light does. The universe did not change in one day. Stars still burned. Planets still moved. Life still continued. But something important had changed. Something invisible. Something powerful. Hope. 3 months after the destruction of Horizon Star, Sarah Cole stood on the main platform of Earth Orbital Station. She looked out into space. The same space where Elias Morgan had disappeared. Gone, but never forgotten. Behind her, thousands of people gathered. Soldiers, scientists, workers, families, children. They were all silent, waiting. A large screen floated in the air. On it was one name, Captain Elias Morgan. Below it, Protector of Humanity. The ceremony began. A soft voice spoke. Today, we remember a man who chose others over himself, a man who faced darkness and became light. Sarah felt tears in her eyes, but she did not wipe them away. She wanted to feel them. She wanted to remember. After the ceremony, Sarah walked alone, down a long hallway, to a small room. Inside, there was a glass case. It held Elias's old badge, his first command medal, his cracked communicator. She placed her hand on the glass. "Sir, we're still here," she whispered. "We're trying." Mark Lewis was no longer an engineer. He was now head of human defense research. But he hated his office. It was too quiet, too clean. He missed broken wires, burning screens, Elias shouting orders. He missed being afraid, because fear meant something mattered. Ryan Patel became a captain, the youngest in the fleet. He carried Elias's photo in his pocket. Before every mission, he looked at it and reminded himself, be calm, be kind, be strong. Humanity changed, slowly, but truly. They stopped fighting small wars. They started sharing technology. They rebuilt old colonies. They protected weak worlds, because they remembered what one man had done. The story spread, across systems, across species, across time. Aliens whispered it. Traders told it. Children learned it. A human captain, a small ship, a giant darkness, and a choice. Even Commander Vrax heard the story. On his damaged homeworld, old, broken, he listened in silence. Then he bowed his head. "Your kind was greater than mine," he said. Far away, in deep unknown space, something moved. Not the devourer. Something else. Something watching. Something learning. The watchers had awakened again. They gathered. "We felt it," one said. "His light remains." Another replied, "Humanity has changed." Because of one, they decided to observe, not interfere, not judge, just watch. 1 year later, Sarah commanded a new ship. Its name was Horizon Light, painted in silver letters. On its side, she stood on the bridge, strong, calm, ready. "Launch," she ordered. The ship moved into the same stars, but this time with confidence. During a training mission, Horizon Light detected something strange. A small energy pulse. Very weak. Very familiar. Sarah froze. "Scan it," she said. Ryan, now her first officer, checked. "It matches black core signature." Everyone stared. "That's impossible," Mark said over calm. "It was destroyed." Sarah whispered, "Unless—" They followed the signal. Carefully, slowly. It led them to a quiet region. Empty, cold, dark. At the center, a small sphere of light. Floating, pulsing, like a heartbeat. Sarah approached. "What is that?" Ryan asked. Before she could answer, a voice filled the bridge. Soft, warm, familiar. "Still chasing trouble, Lieutenant?" Sarah's breath stopped. "Sir?" The light formed a shape. A human shape. Transparent. Made of energy. It was Elias. Or something like him. "I'm not alive," the voice said. "And not dead. The black core saved part of me. My mind. My will. Stored in energy." Tears flowed freely now. "We thought we lost you," Sarah cried. "You never did," Elias replied. "You carried me. In every choice. In every act of courage." The watchers appeared. "You became something new," they said. "A guardian. A memory. A guide." Elias answered, "I belong to them." "Not you." He turned to Sarah. "My time is short. This energy is fading. But before I go, promise me. She nodded desperately. Anything. Protect life, he said. Not power. Choose mercy. Not pride. Build. Don't destroy. I promise, she whispered. Ryan and Mark echoed. We promise. The light grew brighter, then softer, then smaller. Elias smiled. Humanity is ready, he said. Now, I can rest. The light faded, gone, but warm, like sunlight after rain. Years passed. Human and alien alliances grew. New laws were written. The Black Core was never rebuilt, never needed, because courage was enough. In schools, children learned. True strength is not in weapons. It is in sacrifice. On Earth, a statue was built, not of a soldier, not of a hero, but of a man standing, looking at stars, hand open, not holding a gun, but hope on its base. Elias Morgan. He chose light. And somewhere in the universe, whenever darkness rises, whenever fear spreads, a story is told of one ship, one captain, one moment that changed everything, because humanity learned. They were not born to rule, not born to destroy. They were born to protect, to endure, to shine, the end glowing star.